Welcome back to the studio. Today I'm here with Miss Abby Mire. She's a chemistry teacher here at Oak Mountain High School, our head tennis coach, and an Oak Mountain alumni herself. How are you today, Miss Mire?
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
Did you have a good Labor Day weekend?
I did. It was relaxing.
What'd you do?
Nothing. That's why it was relaxing.
Those are the best weekends. So I want to talk to you a little bit about how you attended Oak Mountain and then came back and taught here years later. So how was your high school experience here at Oak Mountain High School?
Well, I, as a lot of teenagers do, had struggles in my teenage years, especially in high school. And school was very much a place that was safe and comfortable for me. So I actually really loved coming to school. It was consistent. I knew what to expect. And I think that's kind of part of why I had a desire to come back here, because it was such a safe place for me when outside of school wasn't always as safe.
Would you say that it was still like a close-knit community like it is now back when you were here?
Oh, absolutely, yes. We were all on the team. Like, some of my favorite memories are being at volleyball games or football games and just like that student section going crazy. That is the best, yes.
Did you do any like extracurriculars when you went
I
here?
played softball growing up, yes, yes. I don't coach softball now. I coach the tennis team. I sponsor the tennis team. Let's say that. I sponsor the tennis team.
Well, what are some big similarities and differences from like going here as a student to teaching here?
You know, I love that the expectations, especially since I have taught at other schools before I came back here, the expectations are really high here, and that is going to benefit the students at the end of the day. I know it doesn't always feel for y'all like it's fun, but having really high expectations is something that we had and we still have, and I really like. I think that y'all have some differences in like silly things like early out. I'm so jealous that y'all have this thing called early out, because we stayed here till 2:46 every single day.
And y'all didn't have SOAR, right?
And we didn't have SOAR either. So when I would leave for a softball game, I was missing math, and then I had to go like figure out how to make up math class, and y'all have SOAR. So y'all have it good, for sure.
So then you said, you told me you went to Alabama
Yes.
after.
Yes.
What did you major in at Alabama?
I majored in, so I got my bachelor's and my master's in secondary science education. So the same thing, just doubled it up.
Well, I was going to ask you if you had any advice for kids that are applying to college.
Yes. I think my biggest piece of advice is to be true to yourself, because there's so many people that are going to have opinions about where you're going to go to school, what you're going to major in, and some of those are valid. Like, your parents probably have your best interests at heart, and you need to at least value what they say. But you have a lot of friends that are going to have opinions too, and you know yourself. So follow that. If you have a gut feeling about, I should go here, I should do that, I strongly believe that is real, and you should pay attention to that.
Yeah, I think a lot of kids need to hear that.
Yes.
And you kind of touched on this earlier, but I wanted to talk to you about like why and when you realized you wanted to become a teacher, and like what kind of prompted you to go into that path.
So it's kind of a two-part story. One is, so I touched on, you know, I was really struggling when I was a teenager, and I had a couple of teachers here at this school that instead of, when I would act out, instead of giving me detention, which is probably what they should have done, they would pull me aside and they would kind of dive in, and they wanted to know, like, this is not who you are, so what's going on? And that was one thing that was very important to me, and one thing that I want to be able to do now that I'm back here, or anywhere that I'm teaching, but especially being here, is be a safe place. When you're struggling, there are teachers that want to help you. And even if it's just talking through, we may not be able to solve your problem, but if we can help you talk through it and deal with struggles, that is something that I love that I get to be able to do, and why I wanted to come back here. And also I had somebody, when I was in college, I was kind of in denial about if I wanted to be a teacher or not. And I had a very wise person. He said, well, what did you play? When you were little, what did you play? And I said, well, school. And he said, and what were you? Were you the student? And I said, no, of course, I was the teacher. And I made my sister be the student, and all my toys were the students, and I graded their work. And he was like,
I did that too.
Hello. So he said, hello, that is like, you played that. This is a passion that you have in your life. And so it was kind of a combination of both of those things that I thought, you know what, this is what I was created to do. And I could go do all these other things that I'm considering, but at the end of the day, I'm going to get the most satisfaction in my life out of doing the thing that I was created to do.
Well, I can say from personal experience, you're a great teacher.
Well, thank you.
And I'm sure that a lot of people are lucky to have you and a lot of other teachers here that are the same way, to like, for them to lean on and come to if they need any support. So, and I guess that kind of brings me to, like, what's your favorite part about being a teacher?
That part. The being able, like, well, okay, it's a tie. Science experiments are super fun when I don't have to talk at kids and give them notes, because that is actually not super fun for me. But if I get to like be in the lab and we're all kind of figuring it out together, that's fun for me. And then also, like, I love when my old students or current students come in during SOAR, and it's not because they're like mad that they can't figure out the problem, that they just want to like say hey. I love being able to connect with students and, you know, just like daily life, hey, what's up? But also like, oh my gosh, Miss Mire, I have this life-altering decision. Okay, well, let's talk it out. I love being able to do that.
Yeah, well, thank you for coming.
Yes.
Thank you for telling us your story.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that you are there for all those students, because I'm sure that there's a lot of kids that need that and they appreciate you. But yeah, make sure to follow our Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, all at OakMTN Media. And make sure to check out our website at www.oakmtnmedia.com. Thanks for watching.